So guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are one of our regular viewers, thank you so much for continuing to support the channel. If you are finding the channel for the first time, thank you very much for clicking through. We're the Kenna Family Adventures, a fun-loving family of 5 from the UK who create informative and helpful travel content to help others plan and make the most of their valuable vacation time. So you're joining us for a travel home day after the most amazing 15-night holiday, which included 7 nights on site at Universal's Endless Summer Resort, where we went to Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios and Volcano Bay to do all our favourite rides and really have fun in the parks. We also did a night at Disney. We went to the Magic Kingdom for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and we had an absolute blast at this event. It was a great way to get our little Disney fix, and of course we did loads and loads of restaurants and reviewed those as well. The last 8 nights of holiday, we had our very first family cruise. We were on Royal Caribbean's Adventure of the Seas, boarded at Port Canaveral and had 8 nights on this wonderful ship, calling at 3 paradise islands. That was Curacao, Aruba and Perfect Day at Coco Cay, which is Royal Caribbean's private island. We were absolutely blown away by our first cruise. It massively exceeded our expectations in terms of the staff, the entertainment, the food, the facilities. Everything was incredible. So coming up in today's video, you are joining us for our disembarkation day from Royal Caribbean's Adventure of the Seas. So sad to be leaving the cruise. We had such a good time. We're going to be renting a car, heading all the way back to MCO and stopping along the way for some well-deserved shopping in Walmart to pick up some of those American essentials to take back to the UK with us. We also stop at Chick-fil-A for our first family meal in there, and it was delicious. And do stick around to the end. We will tell you all about the fiasco we had with British Airways. They cancelled our flight from Heathrow back to Dublin, and it was an absolute nightmare after a night flight. The issues we had with customer service, rejecting our claims for compensation under EU law, and how we got a resolution and what that resolution was. So stick around to the end. We'll tell you all about that, and hopefully it'll help you.
Just like that, we're back at Port Canaveral. There's the Disney Fantasy this time. Look at that ship. Wow, Disney Fantasy. It's beautiful. We're also next to the Carnival Vista. Beautiful. Oh, it's not such a pretty sight as Perfect Day at Coco Cay.
Morning.
Good morning.
You are joining us on our very sad last breakfast on Adventure of the Seas. It's disembarkation day. We're all packed up. We're out of the room. We're here for our final breakfast. It's now about...
It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock now, and we have to be off the boat for 9:30. So we have time for breakfast and a little bit of mooching around the ship, and then we'll be off. So we're hiring a car, heading to Orlando. A few little bits to do around there.
We're heading to Walmart.
We're heading to Walmart, which is it's like going on another cruise.
Yeah.
And then we are flying about 5 p.m.
Yeah,
About
5
5
p.m.
p.m. So
And this is not a good route home, is it?
no, it is the route we booked. So we are flying from here to London. We have to change airports in London, then landing to Dublin, and then driving up in Dublin. We did book those. It was a really good deal on it. But when we changed our outbound flight to Aer Lingus, it was giving us the option to come back with Aer Lingus, which is much better for us, but unfortunately we went to check in this morning and it wouldn't let us do that. So we're on the flights we booked. Can't complain too much.
Can't complain too much. And do you know what? We will get to show you guys how easy or how difficult it is to go from Gatwick to Heathrow in an hour and a half.
We're flying into Gatwick and we're going to get transportation from there to Heathrow. So we'll vlog that just to show you. I know it's not something people like to do very often, but it is always there as an option, and we'll show you how easy or difficult that is. Hopefully it's easy.
I have a feeling it's going to be difficult.
Hopefully it's all straightforward and we make it on time, but we're not. No.
Yeah.
The plan is to get the National Express from Gatwick over to Heathrow. It takes anywhere between 55 minutes to an hour and 10.
Yeah.
And showing up at me is around £90 to £125 depending on what bus we get.
Sure.
I've not pre-booked it because
We don't know if there's going to be any
if
delays.
there's a delay, it's non-refundable and non-changeable. So we'll just wait and pay a little bit more to actually get on the bus.
Absolutely.
Get on. Yeah.
Makes sense, because if we did book one and then missed it because it was there on the flight, then you lost that and you have to rebook it again. So we'll just deal with it when we get there. So look, we'll take you guys along with us today. We'll get as much footage here on the ship as we can, the little bits and pieces, little parts of the ship we haven't seen yet before we have to leave. And then we'll go through the whole disembarkation process. We're hiring a car with Avis again, and then back to Orlando to go to Walmart, which Gemma's very excited about.
Very exciting. It's the highlight of today.
So anyone that's cruised before will know the saddest part of any cruise is disembarkation day. We were so sad to be leaving. We had such a good time. But you know what? The process was really straightforward, seamless, and we were off the ship in no time at all. We had opted for renting a car from Avis. If you watched our embarkation day, you'll realise we used a car from Avis at end of summer to drive to Port Canaveral and drop it off at their parking lot there. This saved us fortunes because we shopped around and Avis were the only company that didn't have one-way drop-off charges. Normally there's like a $50 to $60 charge for dropping it off in the different locations you pick it up from. They didn't do that, so the cost was quite a good saving. We did the quick and easy 1 hour drive from Port Canaveral back to Orlando, stopping in at Jem's favourite place in the whole world, Walmart, to have a little mooch around and of course pick up some of our favourite American treats to take back to the UK. There's just some things that you can get here that's not the same in the UK, and you can't come to Orlando without a little trip to Walmart. I have to say though, things are definitely getting more expensive grocery wise in the US. There's some things we will always go and get regardless of the price, but prices are definitely going up. We have done a separate video on this just to talk about the prices of everyday items if you are considering going for a shop there while you're in Orlando. So check that out, it's on the channel already. We didn't pick up very much all this day. You'll see as when we're leaving here we have 3 very small bags and it was over $100. We then went down to have our first experience as a family to Chick-fil-A. This was on the 192 and we absolutely loved this. Their spicy chicken sandwich is something to behold in my opinion, absolutely delicious, and we all thoroughly enjoyed this to get a bit of food in us before heading to MCO. We had to stop for gas on the way. There was a 7-Eleven just up the road a wee bit from Chick-fil-A, so we stopped to go in here and the boys had to get a big gulp. They've seen it in some American show they've been watching and had to go and get it. Look at the excitement on his little face. And you know what? The guy that worked in here was super cool. They actually gifted these to us because they seen how excited the boys were. They didn't charge us at all, which was really, really nice. And before you knew it, we're back at MCO in plenty of time to get our flight back to the UK.
So that's the car all dropped off. That was a lovely car, wasn't it?
It was very comfy.
Was it nice to drive?
It was nice to drive. Nice
Yeah?
big wagon, that.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it before. She goes, I've upgraded you to a 4Runner, and I'm thinking this thing could be a like a dump on wheels for all I know. But actually when I seen it, I was like, yes, it kind of looks like a big Escalade. Maybe not just as long, but lovely. Really nice.
So we actually returned the car to Terminal B, that's where we were directed to go, and then we caught a quick shuttle over to Terminal C, it was the same terminal we flew into, and we got to see the big atrium again before we jumped on the shuttle to go over there. So this is where it starts getting real, you know you're going home. It's the old Buddy Dyer on the way out. Thank you very much for coming, it's all you're amazing, thank you for all your business. Come back again next year.
Spend more money.
Yeah, pretty much. Very much. So this is straightforward. So when you come into the main area where you're looking around the indoor hotel, just to the right hand side of security is the little lane to bring you to the link to Terminal C. It's really well signposted, hard to
Really
miss.
well signposted. Even I could find my way, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Correctly.
Yeah. That's saying something. So it is really easy. So that was really straightforward. Security this side of Terminal C was a breeze, really good. BA check-in, or we checked in online, but bag drop, everything really smooth. They told us we need to go straight to the gate because they're boarding already. It was really good. Plenty of staff, plenty of security agents, plenty of people at border control. It was all we've got through in about 10 minutes. It does, doesn't it? Yeah. I have to say, we thought Terminal C departures was really nice part of the airport actually. Again, big wide open spaces, bright area, you can tell it's new, it's absolutely lovely in there. Loads of food options. Ironically, there's a Chick-fil-A in here, we've seen lots of people having that. There was this big installation here with behind the flowers. There's a big circular inside with huge big LED screens in there. I'm not sure if it had anything to do with SeaWorld, if it's sponsored by them or it just happened to be water feature, but yeah, it was lovely. And every once in a while there was like fish and things came through on there. It's just a really tranquil, peaceful thing to have in an airport, and there's a lot of people going in and taking advantage of it. A wine bar George in here, and you'll be of course be aware that there's one down in Disney Springs. This is the first one I think that I've seen outside of Disney Springs. And just like in the main MCO terminal, there's also a Disney store and a Universal store in case you need to pick stuff up. So yeah, really big, wide open spaces, really spacious, plenty of lighting. This kind of reminds a little bit of Dubai and Abu Dhabi airports that are really big, shiny and brand new. So yeah, lovely, really good experience both sides for this terminal, except losing my case on the way out, but you know, stuff happens. I got it back a few days later and I got a new vest and shorts out of it. So you see the Aer Lingus plane there, that was the one we thought we were going to be on, and you see the BA plane to its right hand side, and they're right next door to each other. So we should have been on one, and we're on the other now. So that's our big bird flying us back to London. Looks very similar, looks identical plane. I think it's A330-300. You could really tell this is a new terminal. There was so much space, so much seating, plenty of work areas, and loads of tables here where you had USB and USB-C plugs already there for you. Really, really good. And before you know it, we were on that plane for our night flight back to the UK. So we arrived back in the UK in good time at London Gatwick, and as we mentioned earlier, we actually had to change airports in London from Gatwick to Heathrow, and then our flight back to Dublin was from there. Anyone that's concerned about doing this, really do not be. This was probably the biggest part of the journey that we had the most concern about. Are we going to be able to make it in time? We looked at all the different options of how to do it, and in reality it was really straightforward. When you come out of the main terminal, you go down onto the ground floor where ground transportation is, and then the National Express buses, that was the option we went for, are just on the right hand side when you come out of the escalators. We hadn't booked anything in advance because we were worried to do that in case there was a flight delay or anything, so we just did it when we arrived, went onto the app, and were able to book us all on the next available bus, which was coming like 15 minutes time. So no problem at all, picked us up and got us into Heathrow in really good time. So please do not be concerned about doing this. There's loads of other options available. This worked out the most cost effective and handiest for us, as you can see from the receipt here. Total cost for a family of 5 to get from Gatwick to Heathrow was £123. So unfortunately, this is where it all started to go a bit wrong. Jem, while we were on the bus between the airports, got a text message from BA saying that unfortunately, due to operational reasons, our flight from Heathrow to Dublin had been cancelled. We spoke to someone in the contact centre, and they said they apologised, and they said that they sent us an email at 5 a.m, which we hadn't got because we were on a night flight and hadn't seen it because it wouldn't have come through on the aeroplane. So we ended up waiting at Heathrow for what seemed like an eternity until they put us on another flight, which wasn't until 2:20 in the afternoon. Our original flight was meant to take off at 10:35 a.m, so it was a real hassle and a faff, to be honest, and really inconvenient. You know yourself, you don't get much sleep on a night flight after a big holiday, and you are tired as it is. So we were absolutely busted. As you can see from the kids here, we all tried to get a bit of sleep, as uncomfortable as it was, and waited for our next flight, but we weren't happy about it, and it wasn't a great end to the holiday. So we finally arrived in Dublin about 4:10 in the afternoon, which was over 4 hours later than our original arrival time. We lodged a complaint and put a claim in for compensation as per EU law for arriving more than 3 hours later than your scheduled arrival time, and it was denied. They tried to say that the cancellation was because of adverse weather, which was an absolute joke. There were no other planes delayed or cancelled from Heathrow that day, and let's face it, it takes a lot for flights flying in and out of Dublin to be grounded because of bad weather. It's Ireland and it's raining all the time. I sent a follow-up email to say that I wasn't accepting that and it was a ridiculous statement. They wrote back again for a second time and said that they were still denying it and we weren't entitled to anything. We then escalated the case to CEDR, which is the adjudication organisation that oversees complaints for British Airways, and they accepted the case. They looked through the initial documentation, said they felt we had a case and they would pick it up on our behalf, and eventually they came back at the end of January 2025 and confirmed that BA had agreed to pay out £1,100, which was full compensation without admitting any guilt. So that's the result. So despite BA leaving a slightly bad taste in the mouth because of what happened at the very end, we still had the most amazing holiday. The kids and Jem and I made the best memories on this holiday and we cannot wait to get back. And thanks to BA, we now have a deposit for our next trip. Yay! We really hope you enjoyed the video, hope you found it useful, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching.